How are you guys doing out there? I hope everybody's well. Thank you for tuning into the MandyLashé channel. I have a heads up for you. Hey, we're going to be talking this great segment coming up about COVID-19. Yeah, you probably don't want to hear COVID-19. You want to run. Yeah, same thing here. I avoid the news as much as I can when I know those segments are coming up. But this, real talk, you want to hear this. You're going to enjoy it. We're going to be talking about the different variants, the vaccinations, what you need to do in your homes to protect yourselves, your friends, and your family, what you need to do in your homes, just in general, the things that you need to consider so that you can get to the other side of this. Yes, it's a topic we're so tired of, but trust me, you want to hear this. So give me your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are about this segment. And if there's other things you want us to talk about so that you can tune into that in the future, share it. Share it so we can get this information out to as many people as we can. And make sure you click that subscribe button so that you can get the notifications for future segments. We've got some great things that are going to be coming out in the very near future and you don't want to miss out. So until we tune again, make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. Take care. All right. Hello, Dr. Rowland. How are you today?
Hey, super fantastic. How are you doing today, Amanda?
I'm doing well. So where are you hanging out these days?
I'm in the Ensenada, Mexico, my home, which is about 5 minutes from the beach, and it's absolutely beautiful here. So I don't envy you guys on the East Coast.
I tell you what, we started the new year off, as you know, with a whole bunch of snow. And we were shut down on Monday, and folks were ready to get out there today, but it was still a whole bunch of ice. Some were able to get out and do some things, but not everybody. So looking forward to tomorrow to be that first day to really actually go back to work.
Well, you know, but that's this time of the year. So it's beautiful. For me, I love cold weather. I wish I was there with you just to be at home with a hot cup of chocolate.
That really sounds nice. I could use some of that actually right now. Well, so I have been eager to talk to you. You and I met a little while ago. And, you know, when I approached you, it was because I wanted to gain more knowledge from you and get an understanding as far as where you are involved in relation to COVID and the pandemic. And from what I learned of you when I met you, you were very impressive. And I thought it would be great to bring you into the channel and share that with a whole bunch of other folks. So it's also interesting, I know we'll talk about your social media and everything later, but it's very interesting, your involvement. What I'd like to do now is to give you a chance to share who you are and to let folks understand why this is really a critical and important discussion and why they should be tuning in and listening at what you have to say.
Well, you know, I'm a very humble person, and I hate at my older age talking about myself, what I've done and accomplished, but I think sometimes we have to let people know who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, especially in this day and age with misinformation and disinformation. But my name is Dr. Layton Rowling. I'm a medical doctor. I have 6 degrees. I'm certified in chemical and biological warfare. I'm a professor of pathogen virology at the Heinrich Boutique Institute in Germany. I'm the director of Tropical Medicine Disease Institute in Peru for the last 20 years. I'm on the COVID healthcare task force for the National Black Caucus. And so I have a lot of different roles, and the chief medical officer for TPEDA. So this is some of my background, and I've been doing this stuff for 30 years, and doing real world missions in the jungles of Peru for 20 years, treating everything from malaria, dengue, you name it, Ebola, parasitic worm infections, you name it, rabies, in the real field, in the jungles of the Amazon for 20 plus years.
Wow, that is a lot. That is a lot, if I might say. So with everything that you've discussed there and being an infectious doctor, what is your role with the pandemic exactly?
Well, you know, I have 2 hats. I'm an infectious disease specialist, but I'm also a trauma surgeon. And so one of the things that's interesting as being as an infectious disease specialist, it makes you that much more better as a surgeon because you really understand the role of infectious diseases. For the last 20 years, I've done missions in the jungle, like I said earlier. teaching basic and advanced infectious diseases in tropical medicine, molecular mechanism, virology courses, master's courses in virology. So my role now in the COVID healthcare field was, when I came back to the States 2 years ago, I came back to help out a group called the Tao Hospitality Group, which is one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. You're talking about Beverly Hills, New York, Tao Restaurant, Lavos, Brewing Essence from Hong Kong to Australia. So I put in their protocols and procedures to help them navigate through the COVID situation, because it shut down the country. And at that time, my daughter is Jordan Rowling, who's a pretty famous person in the world. She said, "Dad, I want to interview you because all my friends in New York had anxiety." Us parents, we're nobody. We're nobody to our kids until they really need us. So she told all her friends, "Yeah, my dad's an expert in infectious diseases." So I did a podcast with her on her platform on IG, and that thing went viral. 365,000 people in 7 days, and the rest of its history. People discovered Dr. Rowland and who I really am, all the work I've done in the humanitarian stuff, from being nominated Global Humanitarian of the World through the Blue Planet Prize. I didn't win it, but I was nominated and one of the top 40 guys in the world, frontline everyday heroes working in the COVID situation. So that's where we are today.
Yeah, that's that. I'm always in awe with you when you share so much, but particularly with the whole pandemic piece, what's your thoughts exactly in relation to where we are? I know when you kind of did a talk a couple of weeks ago, you kind of mentioned something like, okay, yeah, we're wearing masks and that's something that we're going to have to make a part of our lives. So what exactly is your thought of the pandemic and where we are today?
Well, the reality is that, it's the same thing I've talked about 2 years ago. From all the programs, I've been blessed in that sense to have the opportunity to be on some of the biggest platforms in the world, from MSNBC, National Public Radio, the Black News Channel, and all the different programs, from the Rashad Ritchie program in Atlanta, Michelle Willis television program. I've had a great opportunity to get out there and help people, and and also working with the Urban League and helping rural America deal with the COVID situation. And like I told you guys 2 years ago, this is not going away anytime soon. If you understand the nature of this particular virus as a large RNA virus, you understand this virus is very mutagenic. This virus jumped from an animal into a human being in China. That is just the way it is. There's none of this gain of function and all these conspiracy theories. This is how pandemics start. And this thing jumped into a human being, and now we're where we're at today. And my opinion is the same that I had 2 years ago. We will be dealing with this for the next 50 years. This has changed our society. I wrote a paper and presented this at the Tuskegee Healthcare Disparity about 5 years ago. And my topic in Tuskegee, Alabama was on the global impacts of diseases. Can it cause the societies to collapse? And guess what? Our societies are collapsing now, from economic, food insecurity, violence, political, everything that you can think about a society, how something like a virus can control your life. And that's where I'm at right now in this space, trying to save people's lives every day, and all the different platforms and different places I go in the world in the hot zone. So I'm in my zone, and I've been blessed because of my experience in biological warfare. And as an infectious disease guy, I'm the perfect guy to be able to give folks like yourself the ability to survive and live with the information that's based off of science and medicine and not some type of illusion.
Right. I know that there's some folks that have said that you've really helped them get through COVID, those that have had COVID during the process, and because of your involvement, they were able to walk away from having COVID and now having a somewhat, normal lifestyle at this point, where they thought that at a point of before meeting you, they didn't know if they were going to come through. Can you share with us some of those things, or what you've done to help some folks actually get through that COVID process?
Well, the reality, Amanda, is that the big thing about life itself. I mean, you're an expert in your expertise. You do what you do well. That's what you've been trained for. I've been blessed to be able to be trained in what I do. I mean, I treat real patients with real infectious diseases. not some fairy tale drinking a Starbucks coffee in Idaho. I mean, I'm in the jungles dealing with mosquitoes and babies that are sick with parasitic worms coming out of their eyeballs, and people paralyzed, dying from dengue and rabies and yellow fever and Ebola. So I have a different experience because I have both academic knowledge with my education, but I also have real world experience. And so what I've brought to the table is the doctor that's the boots on the ground. I'm the guy that works in the hot zone. I'm the guy that saves your life with the information and the science that I'm able to bring to bear. I've been very fortunate to be able to consult with multiple hospitals throughout the United States and world, and also the individuals that get sick. And they call me and say, hey, doc, what can I do? My mother's on a ventilator. And then they end up getting me hooked up with the mom's doctor at the hospital. I talked to them about infectious diseases. I talked to them about what protocols that they should use. But I've seen in the real world, when you're dealing with RNA virus, it's like this coronavirus, it's a different ball game. You have to do things a little bit different because there is no effective treatment for any RNA virus. The treatment is what we call clinical, is symptomology. You treat the symptoms and you hope you survive. That's what it's about. And so that's what I've had the opportunity to hear everybody's stories. Girl, you have no idea, Amanda, the stories I hear every day. You read the stuff I write with Coffee with Doc. Moms and dads and daughters dying, and moms and daughters that are sick, and babies that are sick. And man, my phone never stops. And so my world, people reach out to me because this is what it's about, because this is what God gave me the ability to carry other people's crosses. And I've been prepared for 30 years. And so this is my moment in the sunshine. And guess what? My backpack is full, but my boots, my muddy jungle boots, are worn and ready to go.
You're definitely to all of us. So can you help educate us? I heard you say an RNA virus. For those that are not familiar with what that is, can you elaborate on that? And also, when you talk about you gave those folks some of the protocols that they needed to consider to get through COVID, if you could elaborate on that as well.
Well, the first thing is that the most important thing that we've always done, what I've done through all the different platforms, you guys can go to YouTube and you can Google all the different programs. I always try to tell people we have to get back to the basics. And what we made a mistake as a country was that nobody sat down and had that big mama conversation. Somebody should have said, Big Mama, this is a virus.
Not Big Mama.
Yeah, Big Mama. Everybody knows who Big Mama is in the neighborhood. And you say, Big Mama, this is a difference between a DNA and an RNA virus. Big Mama, this is an RNA virus. This virus is unique. This virus has the capability to mutate all the time. Very immunogenic. Big Mama, this ain't the first pandemic the coronavirus did. It happened 20,000 years ago. Big Mama, get ready. Big Mama, this virus is transmitted through 3 ways, Big Mama: respiratory, secretions, and fecal matter. Big Mama, you better wear a mask. That's how you have to be able to break it down to the people. And this is what we tried to do, educate the world and also especially minorities, because they've hit so very hard here in the United States. And so that's one of the things I've been honored as the main spokesperson for the Congressional Black Caucus Healthcare COVID Task Force, is to be able to get out into the field. That's why they came and got me. When Chairman Hardaway sent me a message 2 years ago saying, Dr. Rowland, we need you, I said, man, I'm a nobody. And then Chairman Hardaway said, Dr. Rowland, we looked at your international experience. You're the right person to go out and talk to the Black folks because you can relate to us. You look like us. And we finally got somebody that can speak that language. And I said, Chairman Hardaway, I know all about grits and cornbread and spinach.
Okay, let me interject really quick. So where exactly are you from?
You really want to know where do I sound like I'm from?
You sound like you might be a Southern guy, but I'm not too sure.
I'm definitely a Southern guy by hospitality. I'm from the great state of Louisiana. There's no state like Louisiana.
Wow, that was exciting. Thank you for tuning in to the MandyLashé channel. Make sure you tune in to our next episode, continuing the conversation with Dr. Rowland as we talk about what to do and not to do as it relates to COVID-19. Until we tune again, stay blessed.